JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 13th of January 2022. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website, and specifically our JFD research page, which is also updated on a daily basis. So check us out here on jfdbank.com, and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the charts, quick update on Nikkei. As you can see, so far the idea is working out, so we're just kind of jumping around here inside this little pattern, inside this symmetrical triangle pattern. So at the moment we cannot really do much, so we're continuing to observe the price action here, and for now is just I mean, if you do like to trade something like that, then of course that's a good place for you to be right now. I mean, there is a lot of sideways activity, but if you're looking for something a little bit more trendy, then well, I would suggest to kind of maybe wait this one out a little bit, just continue monitoring this one and wait for a violation of one of the sides of the triangle before kind of, let's say, aiming for the next short-term directional move. Shanghai Composite, also something that I've mentioned to you guys, and if you remember, I mean, I talked about this and I said that wait for this one to kind of decide, and wait for this one to eventually break out through one of the levels here, one of the sides, because at the moment it seems that we could be forming a possible falling wedge pattern, which of course according to all the TA rules tends to be a positive indication. But again, the fact that we're drifting lower right now and drifting closer to the lower side of that falling wedge, and we're near this upside line as well, taken from the low of the 28th of July. So it kind of pushes that upside scenario a little bit off the table. However, like I said, don't get me wrong, I mean, this could still drift lower, it can rebound, and then we could see this one pushing nicely to the upside. So for now, basically, long story short, it's just to play the waiting game. German index, DAX. So this one drifted higher yesterday, but then started losing ground at the end, closer to the end of the day. So here, I would say some adjustments need to be done. So, I mean, I talked about the level here initially this week, this 15,943 zone, which we've managed to clear. And yes, I mean, we pushed further north above it. Then we managed to climb above the 16,044 zone, but we failed to stay above it. So we kind of, it's no longer needed here. So, and like I said, a few adjustments need to be done. So first of all, probably I'll mark this a low here, the current lowest point of this week, near the 15,724 territory. Also, I'm gonna mark the area, the low of yesterday, near the 15,955 zone. And of course, for now, I'm gonna stick to maybe this little low here, the low of Tuesday, which is around that 15,880 zone, so to be a bit more relevant. Although, don't get me wrong, these levels are maybe not the most significant ones. The one that I'm going to be keeping a close eye on will be the yesterday's high, which is around the 16,061 point level here. Currently the cash index is trading at around 15,975 zone, so basically we're back kind of below that 16,000 mark, and we're getting closer to yesterday's low. If we somehow drop below it and we stay below it, maybe we could see this one correcting a little bit lower, but don't forget that we're still above the 21-day EMA, so in a way there is still possibility for this one to kind of rebound here, maybe and push back to the upside. However, at this point I would prefer actually to maybe wait for a push above yesterday's high and then go for some higher levels. But if this suddenly starts dropping and stays below that 15,880 zone, and also drops below the 21-day EMA, now that's where it could become quite interesting for a few more sellers, but only in the near term, because don't forget that overall we're still kind of trading above some of these upside lines. So S&P 500. So yesterday the U.S. equities closed in positive territory. Of course, not with the most confidence, but still there were sectors. Most of the sectors kind of performed well. Only two of the sectors that did not really work well were the consumer defensive and healthcare. The healthcare one was the worst, but the best performing sectors were basic materials and energy. So in terms of and we can see that some of the indices pushed nicely higher initially, but then started losing ground. However, looking at the technical picture here on the S&P 500, we can see that we managed to climb above this highlighted territory. I spoke about that level with this week, and I mentioned that highlighted territory as well. We have managed to kind of remain above it. However, looking at the cash index right now, we can see that we are correcting slightly lower. We're near the 4,714 level. So basically, we are below this highlighted territory, below this level, but we're still above the 21-day EMA. So which kind of gives a bit of more reassurance. So that's why for now, guys, I would say yes. I mean, we are now on the cash index. We're now dropping back below this hurdle, but we're still above the 21-day EMA. So there is still hope that the bulls could step in. If they do, then well, we could see a nice good push higher again. So keep that in mind. But if it start dropping below yesterday's low, which is, let me just, not this line, but this line. So if we start dropping below, somewhere below this 4,706 or 7 territory, approximately around there, well, at the same time we'll be placed below the 21-day EMA, and then we could see the index maybe correcting lower again. So let's keep this in mind. And again, I don't want to rush into anything, and I just want to throw this out to you there. But if by any chance this suddenly starts dropping nicely to the downside here, well, we could be getting ourselves here a complex head and shoulders pattern where we would have two heads here. We have the left shoulder, and well, maybe this could be forming a right shoulder. So like I said, this is just an idea. Still a lot of confirmation is needed. So for that, we would need to see this one drifting heavily now to the downside, and then eventually breaking the so-called neckline here, which is also the upside line. So so we have the neckline with potential neckline with a little bit of an incline. So again, like I said, I don't want to say that this is going to be exactly what it is, but just we're trying to evaluate all the potential kind of scenarios here. So, but for now, at this point in time, if it stays above that 21-day EMA, I'll aim for some higher levels. Now, DXY, the dollar index. So finally, as you can see, I mean, I've talked about this index a lot, and yep, we managed to clear this level. We managed to clear the lower side of the range, and look at this. I mean, perfect hit of this upside support line, and well, now the big question here is what it's going to do next. At the moment, I would say we are just observing this one. We've managed to reach our target. That's great. Now, like I said, my question is what it's going to do after that, and at the moment I'll just kind of stay neutral here. I'm going to observe the price action. If it drops below that 100-day EMA here for me, then well, yep, further declines could be possible. Maybe we could end up dropping all the way towards the 200-day EMA. But let's not rush into anything. Let's see if that's going to work out or not. For now, it could also bounce back. It could travel back up here, maybe test the lower side of the range from underneath. If it does so, then of course the big question will be, can it push a bit higher? Well, at the moment, basically something like this is considered here, because we have now a downside resistance line here taken from the high of the 15th of December. So we're going to keep an eye on that one, and like I said, if we do climb back up towards the lower side of the range here, then of course we'll start evaluating the situation where we could see maybe a pushback above it. Well, but like I said, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We are now near this upside line. Can we drop below the 100-day EMA? Well, just let's wait and see. Gold. Okay, gold, of course, is enjoying the moment here. Yeah, we had a nice push here. We had a nice push higher, and we managed to clear this short-term tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 16th of November. Yes, that, of course, this move does create that little positivity here. But still, what I would prefer here is to wait for a push above the current highest point of January near the 1831 level. A nice good push above it, yep, would confirm a forthcoming higher high. And then my next target is this this upper side of the veg here that I talked about, this upper side of the triangle that I talked about previously. So yeah, for now, long story short, let's see how all this is going to play out. But yeah. If we're gonna pop above this 1831 zone, then that's gonna, like I said, that might open the door towards the upper side of this this formation, the bigger one, the big veg here. Now jumping into WTI oil, so good performance, and there we go, boom. So we managed to reach my target. My target was this downside resistance line. I've drawn this one in the beginning of this week, if you remember, and yeah, we managed to reach it. So that's good news, good result here. You can see a perfect hold up. Now let's reevaluate things again and redraw some of the levels here. So if you're looking for some upside, further upside, then certainly, of course, a break of this upside line, upside line, the break of this downside line is needed, and then yes, we could go for the highest point of October, which is roughly around 85.39 zone. So if it breaks above this downside line, then we'll go for some higher. If it breaks this downside line, we'll go for some higher levels. For the downside now, something that I want to draw here as well. It's going to be tentative, but nevertheless, maybe could work out. So previously I'd drawn another one like this, but now I'm going to draw an upside line like that. So I would say if you're looking for some downside, maybe a corrective, you're looking for a corrective move lower, then wait for a break of this upside line and a drop below the 80.45 level right here, marked by the high of the 7th of January. And then yes, maybe this could open the door towards slightly lower levels. I'm not going to drag this one all the way towards this other upside line, but I'm going to aim for that 77 territory, the one that I talked about previously. So this is quite an important level, and if to show you what it is, then it's near the highest point of July of last year, and near the highest point of 2018. And then yeah, we'll take it from there. Ethereum very quickly. So the crypto world is getting a little boost here. We're traveling back up, or at least trying to. The only thing here right now is, of course, overall, I mean, from the 1st of December, you can see that we're still trading below this downside line. this one right here, I would say probably this is going to be a little bit more accurate. We're still trading below this, so in a way, this move higher right now could be classed as a temporary correction, to the upside. So yep. However, of course, you know, the bulls would like to see this as a positive, but again, from the technical side, I mean, you would still need to see a break of this downside line, and then, yep, a push further north could be considered. The only thing here is that what's interesting is that we're back above the lowest point of December. We're staying above it. So can we, like I said, can this be a good indication that it wants to go all the way back here to this downside line? Well, at the moment, I would say keep that in mind. If this hurdle continues to provide support, then yes, my next target is this downside line. Now, jumping into the currency world, so here I've talked about AUD and ZD recently, and I said that, well, keep your eyes on this barrier, and yesterday, as you can see, boom, perfect touch, 1.0650 zone. We've managed to reach that area, and, well, I would say almost, just fell shy by 1 pip, I think, from reaching that hurdle. But nevertheless, that's still a good result. What I'm going to say now is that, of course, everything's still looking quite positive for this pair, and everything's looking quite interesting here for the bulls. However, more of them could join in if we do eventually get that pop above the 1.0650 zone. If we do get that, then yes, I'll aim for the upside, because a forthcoming higher high would be confirmed. So far, this arrow with this idea is working out, so we're seeing that little corrective move lower, and it could still drift again to the downside. But if this 21-day EMA does continue to provide support, then, well, we could see a nice push to the upside again. So keep that in mind. Now, jumping into AUD/USD. So perfect move. I've picked up on the AUD/USD recently, and I said that if you're looking for some upside, then wait for this one to climb back to the 0.7277 level or and above it. If we do that, then yes, this could open the door towards a possible further move higher here towards this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 25th of February, which is which currently is providing that kind of resistance for now. I mean, let's see how this is going to play out. But looking at this picture, first of all, we can get rid of this upside line, no longer needed. We will mark the current lowest point of January, which is around the 0.7130 level, and yep, if we clear that area, then we'll go for the downside. But for now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside. USD CAD very quickly. So of course, the weakness in the dollar and the stronger kind of oil. The stronger oil, yep, all this kind of played out nicely here for this pair. In general, the idea that I've talked about last week, and yep, I mentioned at the beginning of this week as well, that this could be seen as a possible head and shoulders pattern. Well, it kind of worked out. So what I said previously, that my next target will be somewhere around here, near the low of the 16th of November, near the 1.2493, and I've drawn this level yesterday in my video. Yeah, and I mean, it's not there anymore, but anyway, maybe didn't save it properly. So yeah, we've managed to reach that. Perfect touch, perfect test. If this continues to slide, of course, the next target is this one, the low of the 10th of November, near the 1.2387. But at the moment, I want to see if this is going to hold. If this level here, the 1.2493 level, will hold. If it does, maybe a bit of a rebound could be possible. If we do get that rebound, then of course keep your eyes on the downside line right here. So there's a lot of things to watch out. For the upside at the moment, I would say you can only, well, I wouldn't say only, but probably the option that can be considered is to capture maybe little rebounds, because once we do have these strong declines right now, because the oil is stronger, the dollar is weaker, so this pair is just drifting nicely to the downside. However, if you're looking for some upside, at the moment on the bigger picture, there is no clear indication that we could start moving higher. At the moment, the trend is to the downside, but again, little reversals do happen. So if you're thinking of maybe entering long here and then holding it for a little bit, then I would say be very careful with that. USD JPY drifting nicely to the downside. We're almost getting closer to testing this upside line taken from the low the 3rd of December. And yeah, if we do hold here, that's going to be a nice, interesting rebound here. Could be an interesting rebound, and yep, maybe the bulls could step in again and drive this one a little bit higher. But at the moment, yeah, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside. I'm aiming for this upside line here for now. Yeah, I'm aiming for this upside line for now, and I want to see if this is going to hold. If it does, great. If it doesn't, also great for the sellers. So guys, I mean, you can kind of choose your side here whenever it comes to this line, or if it comes to this line, and then like I said, we'll take it from there. But like I said, if it holds, a bit of a rebound here could be possible. However, if you think that you could go long here nicely, I would say for that, wait for a break of this downside line first, and maybe also just for that extra confirmation to push back above the 21-day EMA could do the trick for a few more buyers. GBP USD, so of course, DXY sold off nicely, and GBP USD, yep, pushing nicely to the upside. So, but in general, guys, I mean, what I told you in the beginning of this week, last week, when we were still climbing here higher, I said I'm going to be very careful near this downside line. Although the trend is to the downside, I mean, we could still break this one, and well, we could see this one moving higher. But yep, for a move higher, we need that break. So we got that break, and look at this. I mean, it continues to push north. Of course, don't get me wrong. At some point, as I said yesterday to you, that don't be very careful. I mean, we could maybe push a little bit more to the upside here. And by the way, again, this is what I've marked this level yesterday, and it's not saved. So we're now above this high. Yesterday I talked about this 1.37 territory. I said that this is going to be my target initially, and we managed to kind of jump above this, and we're currently sitting above it. Now, the only other issue that I have here is this little obstacle right there, guys. So no, not this one, but I think it's going to be this one. Now, there we go. That's the inside swing low of the 27th of October. And I want to see, this is roughly around that 1.3710, so we're also above that. But again, we're just starting the day, so we're just starting the European session, so that's why I'm going to be very careful here. If by any chance we do see a bit of a rebound in DXY, I mean, maybe this could drift back down. However, at the moment, as long as it stays above the 1.37 territory, we will continue aiming higher. Once it starts moving back down below it, then maybe a bit of a retracement here could be possible. Similar story with EURUSD. Finally, guys, we got that breakout. And yep, of course, obviously, if DXY drifted lower, then EURUSD did push nicely to the upside. And look at this nice boom here. We pushed above the 1.1383 level here. This was a key barrier that I talked about. And we managed to clear the downside line, and also this 1.1422 zone. I talked about that level, and this basically level was the high of the I think it was the 10th of June 2020. Again, don't get me wrong, I mean, maybe this is not a huge significant level, but it's just there for now. Still, the main focus for me right now is going to be this area, this 1.152530, approximately around there. That's going to be my next target. Before that, of course, we're aiming for the 100-day EMA. Want to see if this is going to provide resistance of some sort or not. If it does, for example, like it did here, back here, but well, I mean, here we can actually maybe say that actually this was the 200-day EMA that did the job, but okay. Let's consider it for now, the 100-day EMA. If it just kind of sees it as a temporary obstacle here, okay, that's fine, but like I said, the main target that I'm looking at is the 1.1525 zone 30, approximately around here. And then, yeah, we'll take it from there, guys. So, For now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside here on this one, unless this pair suddenly starts dropping back below this downside line. And if so, then well, maybe maybe the upside scenario could be slightly off the table for a while. Okay, guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes. I really appreciate that. So thank you very much. If you wanna catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful, wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop loss in place, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye bye.